Hello and welcome to this high-level demonstration of Polopoly 10. This is the newest software upgrade for College Media Network. My name is Casey Smith and I'm going to be doing the voiceover of today's demo. We're going to be focusing on the ways that the user interface is improved in this version of the software and different ways that your school can use the tools to increase efficiency in their upload process. What you're seeing now is an example site that's been set up called GTV. It's going to focus mostly on entertainment news, but you're going to see how we can apply any of the concepts here to topics that are specific to your campus or newsroom. Now, most of what we're going to go over today is going to relate to metadata. That simply means information that we attach to the article upon upload. So all of these different sections that we're looking at on the page right now, from this main story down to the sports, politics, video section, entertainment, and tech, these are all being driven by metadata and automatically populated. Now, the main advantage to using metadata on your site is it's going to increase the connections between the articles, making it easier for users to find content that they want to read. And this is going to increase what we call the stickiness of the site, meaning that your users are going to find content easier and stay on your site longer. Unlike previous versions of Polopoly, this metadata is going to be completely customizable in this version, and we're going to explore the different ways we can use that to our advantage. So as we click inside of this article here on George Clooney, we're going to see all of the basic things that we would expect to see inside of an article. We're going to see our headline up at the top, our byline, published date, subhead, body text. We also see some enhanced tools over on the right-hand side. We see our images, and we also notice that our bookmarks are integrated. They're not being pulled in by third-party code lines. Now, this is important because this is going to increase the overall efficiency and speed of our site. As we scroll down further on this page, we're going to see related content over on the right-hand side as well. Now you're going to notice that the related content here has actually been broken out into different subject types. So we not only have a main subject for it, we also have it broken out by person, location, and we can drill down to be even more specific if we want. And each of these subjects here is going to relate specifically to what we're going to call a dynamic landing page. So if we click on George Clooney over on the right-hand side here, it's going to take us to one of these dynamic landing pages. This page has been populated based on the content that's available on your site. So for this one, we pulled in all of our related articles, blogs, videos, and images, all related to George Clooney. And now this page is going to grow dynamically too. As we update more information about George Clooney, that information will automatically push to this page. So if we come down here and we click on a related story on this page, let's say we click on this prom night inspired by Oscar's story, we're going to see how this stickiness model really goes into effect here. So we see more related content. So as we click through the page here, maybe we want to read more about Alec Baldwin, or we want to read more about the Academy Awards. We can click on any of these subjects here and they're going to take us to more dynamic landing pages, which again are automatically going to pull in all of our related content. So if we click onto the Oscars here, we see a page similar to the one before, but rather than content about George Clooney, we now see images, articles, blogs, and videos, all related to the Oscars. Now it's important to note here that all of these content types are completely customizable based on the types of media you have available. So for this one specifically, we've decided to upload images, articles, blogs, and videos, but we could easily go in and adjust that based on the type of content you have available. The idea is to highlight the content that you have in the best possible way with the least amount of work. So now let's take a look at the interface to see how we can actually adjust some of these things on the back end of the site. So as we click into the interface here, we're going to notice it's been streamlined not only for the aesthetic and look of the site, but also for the function as well. So we've created a user up here named Edmund Green, and all of these functions have been optimized specifically for his user level. Over here on the right-hand side, we have our preview settings with an interactive function that we'll get to in a little bit. And of course, we have the preview time settings, which is going to allow us to view our site at future states, which is ultimately going to help us with our content planning. If we look over here in the Create section, we're going to notice that there's 3 different content types that Edmund has been approved to create. He's been approved for sports videos, entertainment images, and entertainment articles. We can go in for any editor here and we can predetermine the types of videos and articles that they want to upload, so that way it will really take out the guesswork of the UI and they'll know exactly what they need to upload once they're logged in. Over here we have the content tree, which is going to relate to all of our customized sections that we've created specific to our site. Then we have the inbox, which is going to show us all of the articles that we've uploaded or articles that have been dropped in there for us from other editors. You're going to notice that all of these sort options exist inside of this main window here, whereas previously you would have to click back and forth between different tabs. So this is just going to be a lot easier to manage your content, see what's going on. It's going to make the upload process a lot quicker as well. So as we open up the layout for our main page here, we're going to see as well that we don't have to click inside of different tabs to actually see what's inside of the elements. We can go ahead and see that inside of our main top column splitter, we have two different elements there. And up here at the top, we can easily control the page layouts by predetermined page types that have been set up. So we can switch back and forth between different column layouts. We can make it a blog page if that's what we want, or we can put up any other predetermined types that we think we might need. So with this new user interface, we're able to see not only our elements that we have on the page, but we can adjust the layout types and see of all related articles all within the main window. It's just going to make it a lot easier for you to put up your content. You're not going to have to worry about getting your wires crossed. So let's just go ahead and preview the site real quick to make sure that it does indeed translate to what we're seeing on the back end. So sure enough, we see a George Clooney article on the left and trending stories on the right. If we click back in at a quick glance, we can tell that that's correct. Now we're going to demonstrate the interactive preview features. So you're going to see 4 different tools up at the top now: an edit, rearrange, and 2 different stat viewing options. So let's say that this breaking story is needing to be updated throughout the night and we don't want to go in and recreate the element. We can click edit up at the top and we can actually scale down that photo, zoom in on their faces, increase the headline size, and even come over here and affect the layout type by clicking breaking news, and it's going to pop it out in red for us. Let's say we have additional information to the story to add here in the teaser. We can update that here on the page, and that's going to automatically update on the back end as well. Now let's say we have a latest video that comes in, and that's suddenly going to be the main focus of the page, and again, this is a breaking story, so we need to do this quickly. We can just come over here and drag and drop it on top of the page, and it's going to automatically adjust the layout of that page for us. And all of these changes are going to be translated on the back end of the site. You can see how this would also be really valuable for content planning as well. Your editors can sit around the computer, they can play around with the page, and they can see different ways that the article relates to each other as it's laid out, which is something that's really missing in online editing right now. They can go up to the top and they can refresh the page and it will go back to normal, so they don't have to worry about making any mistakes or really messing up the site. So we've already seen at a glance how the improved layout on the back end and the interactive preview features really helps you edit your content easier, but let's go ahead and go through a simple article upload as well. So like we said before, these article types have been predetermined for our user Edmund Green up here. So as we click into Create Entertainment Article here on this left Create box, it's going to automatically pull up an article form with predetermined information for him. So this means that his byline is going to automatically be linked to this story. And we even have different access types that we can give to the article down at the bottom, such as we can make it available only to members of the campus community, and then we can even add additional authors as well if we want. So we're going to see all of the basic text fields here that we would expect to see. We're going to be able to upload our title, subtitle, and lead. Inside of the text box here, we're going to see that we have the Paste as Plain Text option, which is really important because this is going to allow us to paste in our text from email clients, InDesign, InCopy, and it's going to ensure that it all has the same style on the site. Once we've got the text the way we want it, we can click over to our article media. Now we have the search bar down here in the where we can search for media that we want to upload. So for this story, we know we want to upload media that's related to Clooney. So there's different layout types that we have here. We can view it in tiles, or we can view it in a list format. We also can filter it right here inside of this window rather than having to click through different windows. So we can click on the filter and we can see other related people to Clooney. But we can also see different image types that have been uploaded as well. So we decide we want to search for images specifically related to George Clooney. It's going to show us that there are 12 images that have actually been placed in there for us by our photo editor. So once we're happy with the types of images that we have available to us, all we need to do to place them on the page is use our drag and drop feature, and we can actually drag the images up. We have very simple categories to drag them into. We have a top image section, we have a normal image section. We can get an idea of how the images will interact on the page. Once we're happy with the way our media is laid out, we can move on to the categorization and metadata. Now, in previous versions of Polopoly, the metadata has all been predefined. And while we still have the ability to predefine metadata here, as you can see up in the subject field, we can also input specific values that are unique to our campus or our community. So for instance, here we're going to input George Clooney, but we could also input university president, maybe a star athlete on campus. And you're going to see that these values go beyond just people. We can actually drill them down to company, organizations, locations. It can really be customized as far as you want. So we're going to use an automated feature here to just speed up this process. And again, all of these categories are completely customizable depending on how your editors want to categorize the content. Now the more in depth we get with our categorization, the higher the SEO on our site is going to be, because this is going to ensure that all of these tags are now linked to your article. So as people are searching for these different tags, say in Google or any other third-party search engine, it's going to now be linked to your guys' site URL. So the more tags that we add, the better it's going to be, the easier it's going to make people to find our site. So now that we've put in all of our category tags, we now have these related articles that have come over on the left-hand side in our inbox. So to add that to this article so people can find this content easier, we can use that drag and drop feature all within the same window. We can just drag and drop our content over, put it in the order we want, and we now have linked these articles together. And again, this is going to improve the overall stickiness of our site, making it easier for readers to find content that they're looking for. Alright, so once we're happy with our categories and related content, we can go over into the elements section over here. And again, we have all these predefined elements that have been determined for this user, Edmund Green. So we come in here and we insert a poll. We're going to see that it's really simple to put in additional elements. All we need to do is fill out the preset forms that are provided for us. So for this one, all we need is a name and a question. We can put in 2 different options, 2 different answers. We can even affect the layout and orientation down at the bottom, and we can see the results in real time. So we're going to insert and now preview this article, and we're going to see what it looks like based on the information that we've entered. So there we have our main image that we dropped in. We have our headline, we have our byline, our publish date, we have all of our related categories, and then we have our pull down at the bottom. Remember, if we don't like that white space on the left, we can use the live edit feature, and we can fix that right live on the site. Alright, so everything looks good with this article, so we can save and insert. Now, where did that article actually publish? Well, if we go to the actual site, so we're going to the live site now, not just the preview. We can search for a keyword. So let's search Clooney. We're going to see that that article that we just entered, it's the second hit on the site. So already within a few seconds, it's been picked up by the indexing. So that's already a vast improvement over the current version of Polopoly. So if we scroll down to the bottom here, we see everything reflected just like we saw it in the preview version. Let's go back and let's click on the main page of the site here, because we want to show that it actually published to all those dynamic landing pages that we wanted it to. So we added in about 13 different related tags there, so we know that it should have published to about 13 different places on the site. So if we come in and we click on the George Clooney landing page, sure enough, we see it at the top of the page there. It's already been picked up and dynamically added to that specific landing page. So that article, it didn't just publish to the search engine of the site, it published to all the different dynamic landing pages that related to the tags that your staff put in for it. So that means that a user is that much more likely to find that article on your site when they're searching for it. Now, it's important to note that we also have the ability to manually place that article if we would like. We can customize it on a different page. However, that's going to be highlighted in a different demo. What we really just want to show today is the way that the metadata function works to build these dynamic landing pages for us. And keep in mind that these pages are going to be built out based on multiple media types, not just articles, but blogs, videos, images, or really anything that you guys determine you want to be added to the site. Now, so far, all of the pages we've been looking at, they've had pretty much the same layout. So let's say we have a special layout that we want to apply to a page. We're going to do this through predetermined style sheets. So we're going to say we have a specific style that we want our breaking news format to look like, or we're going to sell some sponsorship for the site, or we're going to have a game day story. So all we need to do is we need to find a page that we already like the layout of. So let's say that we like the layout of this Hobbit page. We like the fact that it has a rotating image at the top, we like the videos, we like the articles, but we don't want to rebuild that page from scratch. That would take too long. So we're going to go into the advanced feature here, and we're going to do what we call a deep copy, which essentially just clones that site for us and allows us to update it with content that is more appropriate for the layout we're going to use. So if we make a deep copy of the page, we're going to see that it's going to clone all of those content types that we wanted. There we have our images and our videos, blogs, and stories, but it's all relating to the Hobbit, and we want it to relate to our new topic here. So let's say we want it to relate to the Oscars. So all we need to do is go up into the categorization feature up in advanced. We can change the value of that tag from the Hobbit to the Oscars. So we come in here and we delete the Hobbit and we add in the Oscars. It's going to go through every single content type on that page and it's going to automatically update it for us. So now we see that exact same page, but instead of content relating to the Hobbit, it's pulling in all the content from our system that we put in that we've ever tagged as Oscars. Now you see the only thing that didn't update there on the right is the tweet deck. So our social media is actually integrated into Polopoly in this version. Like I said before, this is going to speed up the improvement of the site because instead of pulling in lines of third-party code, it only has to make one call to the system to load the content on that site. So all we need to do is go in and update our hashtag and our title, click save, and it's automatically going to communicate with Twitter to make sure that it pulls in the appropriate hashtag. Now all we need to do is rename our page. And now we need to apply the style sheet. So here we have a predetermined style sheet called GTV Oscars. This could be predetermined for breaking news or sports or any other style sheet that you guys would deem necessary. We select the background image because this specific style sheet requires a background image. And there, within about 3 steps, once we preview the site, we're going to see that the site has been completely updated simply based on that new style sheet that we drag and dropped in there. So we now see that the background image comes out to essentially skin the site. We see that our column widths have been adjusted, our fonts have been updated, but all of our content type has stayed the way that we wanted it to. So it took about 30 seconds to basically update that page of the site. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how easy it can be to really dynamically update different pages of your site, give it a fresh new look, and let the system do most of the work for you so you guys can focus on content creation. So like I said, there are a lot of other functions in the new version of Polopoly that were not covered in this demo, but I hope that gave you a good sense of the improved user interface and the ease of use with the new metadata tags. We hope you're as excited about these site upgrades as we are, and be on the lookout from us for even more demos that go further into site functionality.